I need to, it's on, but you have to redo the entire video. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna give you the Cliff Note version. I apologize. I really don't know what was going on because everything was undone, or nothing was muted. Long story short, I feel like it's important right now to address the Wolves in Finance video. It's taken the talk today on the Charlie Kirk investigation by storm. A lot of people are referencing it. I've been in Barron's chat, and I've been in a couple of other creators' live spaces, and it's being talked about. And so basically, I wasn't going to do this, but I think it's important enough to address what has gone on. And in his video, Zach, and this is not a knock at Zach. I did say this. This is not anything personal with Zach. I like his videos. I like his content. I think he does very thorough work when it comes to the financials with Turning Point and all of that jazz that goes on with just the money stuff with Turning Point and Charlie and all of their subsidiary sister companies, the whole shebang. All right. However, I do have an issue with the breakdown or kind of the realm in which he's kind of like meandering into here with things that happened on September the 10th. Because in my opinion, he missed the mark big time today. And we're going to talk about it. Okay. The way that Zach outlined his video today, he had two segments essentially. We got the first 33 minutes. And you see what I'm doing there? You see, this is the other thing that was talking about here is this symbol here. Okay. I don't know if this is a Freemason symbol or not. I don't know. You can look it up on the internet and it tells you all sorts of stuff. Okay. There's like some racial implications that it's talking about. I don't know. But in essence, this was the beginning in the first 33 minutes, 33. His video talks about the fact that, Charlie might have been something else. He also outlines that the reason that Charlie was something else or could have been something else is the fact that there's absolutely no way Charlie could have possibly not known about all the shenanigans that he's uncovered. Okay. I don't know if that's true or not. And quite frankly, I mean, they still haven't gotten into a lick of trouble with their finances. So at the end of the day, I mean, in my opinion, until there's something going on with the IRS or there's, people that do financial investigations look into it. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. It's suspicious, but what does that have to do with the thing that blew up under Charlie's shirt? I mean, so basically the first 33 minutes were him talking about this video or a photograph rather that surfaced with Charlie and Tyler, where they are both doing the OK sign or I've heard it's like white power is what Grok says. There's other stuff that goes on. Just ask one of your AI assistants what the OK symbol means. It's not by any stretch of the imagination something that's basically Charlie subliminally admitting to being a Freemason. Okay. It just feels like it's kind of beginning to kind of paint things in a different direction for Charlie. If it's true, it's true of the financial stuff. That's fine. I mean, they'll get in trouble for it. I mean, there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. At least that's kind of my understanding of how the IRS and if wishy-washy things happen with, there's a lot of federal financial divisions of things that they will look into them. Okay. If there is some funny business, because administrations change at some point. But what I want to get to is the second half of the video, or the end part of the video after 33 minutes and 40 seconds. That's what we're going to get into right here. And I'm going to explain just real briefly where I think things have completely gone off the rails with this video. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I'm not going to get super in depth. I did say, I don't know if y'all heard, I'm not in a good mood tonight. I'm tired. I'm cranky. There's just a lot going on. And I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And then this coming week, I've got 2 creators I'm getting doing collabs with. And then I'm working on a debate with setting one up basically with the fake death yahoos. We're going to bring them on and they can, tell me about this tube that don't exist, whatever. I'm going to give them their day. Okay. So anyways, that's happening this week. I will dive much deeper into all this this week. But for the most part, we're just going to keep it short and sweet and light and just like where I'm like, this don't make any sense. All right, here we go.
Actually break the law to try to influence the election for Donald Trump. Now, with all of this in mind, let us revisit what happened on the day that Charlie Kirk was murdered. I'm going to show you 3 things that most people have missed. Number 1, the van. On the day of the shooting, there was a black van pulled up right behind Charlie Kirk's tent. This is a breakdown given by a small YouTuber, Algiest Nydream.
And then it's Kirk himself who starts the countdown by tipping his nose. The trunk opens, Turk confirms by tipping his cap in his ear, and the bodyguard also gives his affirmative signal.
I'm going to freeze this frame. I'm not going to show the actual shooting because this is on YouTube. But this is the moment right before the shot happens. In the background, you see the black van. Someone opened the back of this van moments before the shooting happened.
Okay, this is absolutely ridiculous. I want you all to look at all of the people standing. Come on, internet.
His ear, and the bodyguard also gives his affirmative signal.
I'm going to freeze this frame. I'm not going to show the actual shooting because this is on YouTube. But this is the moment right before the shot happens. In the background, you see the black van. Someone opened. Okay. So, do I need to make my point? I'll make my pointer bigger real quick. I forget. I always forget about that because I know it's hard to see on the screen. Just one second. We go accessibility. We go display. And right here. Okay. What this guy, this Algiest or whatever his name is, I think he's German. What he's saying is that there was a shot fired from maybe the roof into the back of that van. And that is the sound. But they used that shot to convince everyone that it was a rifle. And then I believe he's been on with Jordan. So this would mean that he is believing that there was a squib that was detonated. Okay. I'm telling y'all right now, this angle right here don't make a bit of sense for something being fired into the back of that van because everyone's heads are in the way with that van being back underneath the Hall of Flags. I can promise you one thing. Brian Harpole, his ass, ain't going to be anywhere near that van if he knows a gunshot is about to be fired in. So is Frank Turek. So is that little Fabio looking dude right here, the guy that is the CEO of that I Am First company. None of them fools are going to be standing by that van, y'all. This is the most stupid thing I've ever in my life heard. The timing also is impossible. It's stupid. Okay? This is somebody trying to inject a lot of crazy bullshit. All right? Period. Also, why would you have something in the back of that van when the trunk is open that people can take videos of, photos of? Do y'all know, like, there's a lot of photos and videos that back of that van opened and closed. Like, I've counted 4 times that I have on video, probably opened more than that.
and closed. I don't know what the hell the guy was doing. Probably it was a distraction thing where if shit goes sideways, they're like, hey, we can feed this to this German dude, and this German dude's going to take it and run with it. And he's going to say that whatever craziness, I mean, he can come up with, that the back of the trunk did it. Okay. So the point is, this is a distraction tactic, what they were doing that day. The guy with the remote, I think his name is Angel. Okay. He's the Hispanic dude with the blue American Comeback Tour shirt. He's the guy that's got the remote, the key. You can see it in his pocket. Okay. He's the guy that walks up to the back of the van at the moment that he opens it and closes it real quick. But the point is, like, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous to think that there's something fired into the back of that van and that all of them people are going to be standing right there. It's nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. I mean, they're all moving around. How do you know? I mean, there's no way you could possibly shoot someone for real, like one of your turning point people. It's nonsense. Okay.
The back of this van moments before the shooting happened. Then we also see the bodyguard, Dan Flood, doing some kind of hand sign right before the shooting happens. Now let us go right after the shooting.
This is something I will absolutely show whenever we do this deep dive, when I've got time. I don't know if y'all heard me say, I know I said it probably when I was muted. I've been traveling all day. We've been, my kiddos had a swim meet. So like it's been a busy day, but the angle here is ridiculous. Okay. It's absolutely ridiculous that this angle, that they think that this angle could be pulled off and that you're going to shoot into a box. I mean, give me a break. There wasn't anything fired off the Losi roof. Okay. This is doing so much. It's being so extra that the timing, look, if their timing is off, imagine just a 2-second issue. 2 seconds off, you're cooked. Quite frankly, a second off and you're cooked. It has to be precise. However, they were not precise enough because the t-shirt was moving before the sound was played out over the speakers. We'll get into that later. I feel like I beat this with the dead horse, but I always seem to be picking up new viewers, and I definitely want, and there's also some new information with the speakers that is coming together actually quite freakishly on what was really happening with all that humming and buzzing business. Okay. But point blank, it's just nonsense, absolute nonsense that something was fired in the back of this van, especially with everyone's cameras. I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's so extra. I don't know how else to describe it.
In the meantime, they also closed the trunk to hide its content from the spectators' flee.
They closed the trunk to hide its contents from the fleeing spectators. The trunk was open and closing, open and closing, open and closing. Do you know how many people had their phones trained out? Like, what are you going to hide? What are you going to hide?
In the stands. 19 seconds after the shot, we can observe the trunk closed.
Ooh. The only thing notable here in this photo is not the trunk. It's actually the woman right there who is, I believe her name is Chrissy, and she's doing the, oh shit, what did we just do face as she's holding her head over, like, oh my God, what did we just fucking do? Is that look, okay? He cut this cuts off, but that's exactly it. I'll show that video later too. I mean, she's literally like, it's not, oh my God, I'm afraid for my life. There's a live shooter somewhere. Are there more rounds coming? Anything? I mean, she's not concerned 1 ounce. She's like, what the fuck did you do?
19 seconds after the shot, the trunk is closed. Excuse me? Am I the only person who finds this suspicious? So there's a shooting going on, and someone who had just opened the trunk says to themselves, while everyone is running for cover, I'm going to shut the trunk of my van. I find this extremely suspicious. Number 2, the audio. This same YouTuber took audio from the different camera angles and used it to triangulate the trajectory of the bullet.
I looked at all the clips that had a good enough quality to analyze them with the software Audacity. Then I calculated the angles, distances, and crack thumb deltas.
According to his calculations, the bullet from the top of the Losi Center could not have hit Charlie Kirk, but in fact seems to be traveling straight towards the back of the van. This analysis has been repeated by multiple people. Here's another small YouTuber, Jordan Henshaw, who performs the same calculations in a graphic simulation.
Okay, so this software is basically doing exactly what AllJice did, only it's in real time.
Okay, here's the tent where Charlie Kirk is at. Here is the van.
As I drag the little crosshairs right there, it is computing the error between predicted values and actual measured values for Charlie Kirk shot versus the van shot. Doing this in real time, and over here on the right, you can see the amount of error. And over here, this is simulating the mock cone visually in 3 dimensions. And what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the mock cone to hit the camera or the microphone. And I say set crack. And then I wait for it to hit, then I wait for the thump sphere to hit the microphone. And I say set thump.
So according to this, someone opened the back of the van, someone shot into the back of the van from the top of the Losi Center, and then they closed the trunk.
Absolutely bullshit. That is not what that means. All of that stuff that Jordan did there and Algist with all them diagrams and stuff absolutely mean nothing, okay? Because you can go right now and ask Grok or any AI assistant or anybody that's got a brain with acoustic knowledge, okay, not a puppet, if the layout at UVU in the courtyard would be any sort of reliable on collecting audio analysis to determine where the shot came from. Every single AI bot or AI platform or audio acoustic expert will be like, absolutely not. It is the most unreliable because there's so many buildings around and everything's bouncing off. It is the most unreliable way of determining something in that setting at that courtyard with all of those buildings sunk down low. Okay. So with all of that stuff, it looks real neat. Okay. I mean, it looks like, oh, wow, there's like a lot of computer lines and shit on there. Don't mean anything. Okay. Because it's the most unreliable out of all your 5 senses. You're better off using your nose like a puppy dog and trying to go sniff the bullet out than relying on your damn ears to tell you where something came from. Okay. Out of all your 5 senses, guess one comes in dead ass last? Yeah. The audio. Okay. Sorry, it's just facts.
That leaves the question, what happened to Charlie Kirk? According to the audio, it is not possible for Tyler Robinson to have shot Charlie Kirk. Now, these YouTubers are speculating that the death was faked, but I think it is more sinister than that. There was way too many people who wanted to seize control of Turning Point. Number 3, Brown Shirt Man. There was a man in the crowd I'm going to call Brown Shirt Man. I want to give credit to all the internet sleuths who have been talking about this. I want to especially thank an internet sleuth named Jeff Renz for putting a lot of this information together. And also thank you to another internet sleuth, Dave from Kansas, for helping me research this. Also, I have to give credit to journalist Stu Peters, who's one of the first people to talk about Brown Shirt Man. Here is another angle of the shooting.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
I am blacking out Charlie Kirk.
I want you all to notice the hum, okay? This is one of those things that will absolutely be explained as to what was going on, okay? But the real point he's making has to do with Rick Cutler, okay?
This is the moment of the gunshot. Who is this guy? My understanding is that this is someone named Rick Cutler. I have not seen this man in video of other Charlie Kirk events, so it appears that he is a new member of the security team. But if he is in security, Why would he be stationed behind the barriers? Am I the only person who thinks this is suspicious? He's wearing a brown shirt. I
The
would say
fact that he's standing behind the barrier, there's 3 other or 4 other guys standing behind the barrier, and they are there for crowd control. Okay. The fact that he's standing on the inside of the barrier absolutely means jack shit.
he's 30 to 40 years old. He looks like a military guy. You know how people in the military have a certain look? Brown shirt man looks like a military guy. Here's another close-up of the brown shirt man from the event. You can see he has a unique tattoo on his arm. This person right here is Frank Turek, who is a pastor who works with TPUSA Faith. A lot of people have been wondering why he's holding his cell phone this way. Frank Turek claims he was on FaceTime. This does not look like a FaceTime call to me. This looks like he is recording video footage. These are 3 angles. Just so you can understand where Frank Turek is. Frank Turek is pointing his cell phone camera directly at Brown Shirt Man. So I started looking more closely at Brown Shirt Man. Something that strikes me as odd are these sunglasses. These are massive, bulky sunglasses. I realize that military men tend to like to wear large aviator-style sunglasses. But even for aviators,
Okay. So this is where, this is concerning. Okay.
sunglasses, these are pretty bulky. The lenses are big, the frames themselves are really bulky. I bring this up because one thing you would want in a high-profile assassination is a laser sight on your gun.
So he just made the link from those glasses being big, bulky lenses to now he's got a dude in full tack gear, like super SWAT with lasers. He's making that leap. Okay. I'm gonna just hit pause right here. Okay. And we're gonna go right over here. I'm gonna add back. These are standard Randolph Engineering aviator sunglasses. Standard. I have them. I have 3 pair of these. I've got some gold. I've got some in silver, and I got some that are jet black. Okay. There ain't nothing about these things weird, big, and bulky. Okay. These are Randolph Engineering sunglasses. Go right now on your smartphone, pull up a Safari browser, and type in Randolph Engineering. These are them. These are the sunglasses. Okay. That photograph that he put on his live stream looks to me to be altered and doctored. This is from a video that hadn't been put out yet. Okay. Of Cutler and everything he has on and what he's doing. And I'm telling you right now, there ain't nothing weird about these sunglasses. And the damn sure don't belong anywhere near an argument with some dude in full SWAT tack gear rolling down some industrial looking hallway like he's about to go get Osama. Okay? Period. All right. So we're going to go back to the video here.
Gun to make sure you do not miss the target. One thing that militaries use is infrared lasers. These are lasers that are invisible to the human eye, but can be seen when viewed through IR glasses. Now, normally, IR glasses are massive goggles, but this is something that we know DARPA has been working on. DARPA is the top secret research and development group for the US military. They've been working on something called the Envision program. These would be normal-looking sunglasses that can see IR lasers even in full sunlight. Here's what it would look like. You can see the laser sight here. So someone could aim their laser sight at Charlie Kirk's neck, and no one would be able to see the laser except for the person wearing the special sunglasses. I think these sunglasses look very suspicious, and someone should inspect them. If we continue to watch Brown Shirt Man, I also find the way that he is standing very strange. Who stands this way? If you were at the front row of an event, would you stand like this? It looks like he's bracing himself with one hand on the barrier and then using his arm to steady his other hand. If we zoom into a close-up of his hand, his fingers are spread slightly apart, and it looks like something is poking through his fingers. The thing poking through his fingers is aimed in a direct line to the bullet hole in Charlie Kirk's neck. Does anyone find this suspicious? Something that assassins.
Number one, it's not a direct line. It's a direct line because he drew a direct line on a photograph. He has no idea if that's a direct line, okay? Point blank. He has no clue. You can make a direct line just appear that way by drawing it on a computer screen, okay? But this is where it gets really good.
Are known to use is called a palm pistol. This is a small circular item you can hold in the palm of your hand. You would let the barrel of the gun poke out through your fingers, just like what we see with Brown Shirt Man. And you fire the gun by twitching your hand because your palm activates the trigger. I have to say that people have other theories as well. Some people suspect that the twitch of this man's hand is not pulling a trigger mechanism, but instead detonating an explosive device in Charlie Kirk's lapel microphone. But with either theory, people are starting to notice that the movements of Brown Shirt Man look suspicious. If you still do not believe me, take a look at this. 5 minutes before the shot happens, Brown Shirt Man gives a hand signal.
Here you have the shooter signaling to someone else saying, 5 minutes until the shot. And look carefully who is watching the signal. Watch again.
Did y'all see him say 5 minutes? I mean, how do y'all know that he's saying 5 minutes? He's doing something like this, like, hey, and pointing. I mean, do you see how they're injecting all of this just complete speculation? I mean, there's absolutely, yeah, he's getting someone's attention. Let's watch it again. I mean, do you see where he's talking about minutes here?
You have the shooter signaling to someone else saying, 5 minutes until the shot. And look carefully who is watching the signal. Watch again.
Anybody figure out see where he said 5 minutes? I mean, that's a hell of a leap. Hell of a leap.
Here the man in the blue shirt turns on his video glasses. I only know this because I have the same glasses. A minute later, he signals 4-minute mark.
So Brown Shirt Man is counting down to the shot. He signals 5 minutes, 4 minutes, then gets into position where he raises his hand to his arm. Am I the only person who finds this suspicious? Come on, people. He's literally counting down 5 minutes before the shot takes place.
Okay, there's absolutely zero proof of that because no one has gone in to sync all of this stuff up. That is one thing that is definitely on my radar. Basically, not that I believe that I'm trying to do anything to show Rick Cutler did something. I know he did not do something. And I know that he was an absolute freaking decoy there that day. And it's absolutely working perfect, the decoy, because look at where we are and what we're having to explain. But there's absolutely no synchronization of what he's saying here with it being any sort of remote truth. And it'll be easy to do because I've got the complete uninterrupted video, okay, from that day. So it's real simple. We just count back from the Big Bang We listen to the words that are being spoke at the moment that he's doing his hand signals, okay, pointing. So when we have the words that are being spoke on that video, we sync them up to the video with the uninterrupted coverage. And then all of a sudden we can know real easily where, if there's any validity to the fact that he was doing a countdown. It's absolutely, I mean, it's such a stretch. But the way it's presented, it's like, oh my gosh, but there's nothing that's presented here that shows anything that Rick Cutler was counting down. Okay. And I can assure you, they're all wearing microphones right here. He's going to stick his hand up. Excuse me. He's going to stick his hand up and count down. Come on. Come on.
Dan Flood does the final hand signal, the van trunk opens, the shot goes off, and Charlie Kirk falls down. Then after the shot, Brown Shirt Man runs over to Charlie Kirk and kneels down next to Brian Harpole. They carry Charlie Kirk's body into a nearby SUV. Do you notice anything strange about this photo? In the back pocket of Brown Shirt Man, we see the shape of what looks exactly like a palm pistol.
Oh man, this dude must be a city. This guy, Zach, you're a city dweller, aren't you? All right. You might have an EV, so you don't go into convenience stores often. Next time you go in, find a 7-Eleven or an Allsup's. Okay. You're going to see things behind the cashier. Okay. Those are called tobacco products. You have to be, is it 18? 21? I don't even know how old you have to be because I don't use them. Okay. But there's stuff called dip. Okay. There's stuff called chewing tobacco. There's a product called Zen. They loved Zen because there's cans of Zen all over that place. There's cans of Zen right there by Terrell and Phillip. Okay. Hell, Brandy and Billy, they like Zen. I mean, you'll see Billy pop a square like on a live. I mean, it's not a palm gun, dude. It's not. Okay. It's not that's a can of that is Zen.
Does anybody find this suspicious? Can the Brown Shirt Man please explain what was in his pocket? Because it looks like to me like he has the outline of the murder weapon in his back pocket. Now, to be clear, I cannot say for sure that Brown Shirt Man murdered Charlie Kirk. This is all circumstantial evidence. I'm trying to figure this out from the limited video footage we have because the police is not investigating this. There are other people with credible theories about what happened that day. For instance, another investigator, Baron Coleman, does not believe the palm gun theory, and he thinks some form of electrocution was used. We do not have all the details, and I am still open to other explanations about what happened. But my opinion, even if we don't have all the facts figured out, this looks like a full-scale military operation. We need a full investigation. We need congressional hearings. One of the questions everyone keeps asking is why Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, is not investigating any of these leads. Why isn't he looking into Brown Shirt Man? Why isn't he investigating Turning Point? Why isn't he looking into Fort Huachuca?
All right, I'm going to hit it right there. I'm going to hit pause and I'm going to explain this very, very slowly. There is something wrong with the fact that nobody is talking about Brian Harpole outside of Fort Huachuca. Okay? Look, Brian Harpole has a device on his body that when he manipulates and messes with it, it messes with the audio. Okay? I feel like a broken record at this point because literally it's like we're going to talk about Brian Harpole being at Fort Huachuca, but then all of a sudden when we get to September the 10th at UVU. Excuse me, who's Brian? Huh? Are you kidding me? Like, what the hell's wrong with all of these people that are out putting out content? The dude, like, my God, Philip Goldsberry looks to Dan Flood and does this. Okay? Then Dan Flood gets on his radio and calls Brian over. Brian, get the fuck over here. Brian walks over to Dan, leans down, says, "Hey man, what you just armed, it's like they're telling me it's fucking up the audio, dude. Like, you got to turn it off, man. You did it too early. It's not ready yet. Okay, they're telling me to turn it off." What does he do? He goes into his pocket right there on camera and turns it off. And then he looks over at Terrell and Philip and he's like, "You dumb motherfuckers." Because guess what? He just got called up to the stage where every phone camera, every real camera, big nice camera is trained in on. And not only that, but he turned it off. He messed with it. Has nothing to do with the radio. The radio's on his other side. Okay? He messes with this thing 3 or 4 times. Okay? It messes directly with the audio. What he has wired on him is messing with the audio. Why is Philip Goldsberry, the audio, the AV dude that goes around and messes with concerts and other stuff, like, why is the AV dude signaling to the head of security for Turning Point USA that the audio is messed up? It's not normal. It's not normal. Okay? It defies all, like, common sense. There's no reason that Philip should look up real quickly, be like, oh shit, Dan, help. It's messed up. The audio was messed up the whole day. I mean, they're running around with the speakers. It was all jacked up because why? They're trying to do too much. They're trying to pull off this extravagant thing, okay? And it was messed up. Did y'all see Hunter Kozak? Okay, the trans gun questioner, the guy that they needed to ask this question that helps to facilitate this massive, grandiose story that we're about to be fed, right? About, the shooter had a furry and he's, he had a beef with trans people, even though he's a long ways away. I mean, he just knew magically when that question was being asked. Like, did y'all see Hunter Kozak look over to Rick Cutler and signal? Or did y'all see Hunter Kozak look over to Brian Harpole and signal? Brian Harpole. He looks over to Brian Harpole and Hunter Kozak. He doesn't adjust his glasses. He doesn't. He doesn't touch them and mess with them. Hunter Kozak is engaged with Charlie Kirk, a person that Hunter Kozak had been stalking, essentially, through the Unfuck America tour, or whatever those clowns called themselves, okay? Going around and chasing Charlie around, Unfuck America. We're going to ask him tough questions. Hunter Kozak breaks the engagement with Charlie to look over to Brian Harpole and signal with his glasses that, hey, guess what? The magic question's coming next. And lo and behold, it does. 5 seconds later, and Brian Harpole's got something underneath his hand. It's on this side right here, okay? He's got his arms like this. This is not normal. This is not even comfortable, okay? You're having to engage your biceps just to keep your arms locked because there's nothing resting on them. Like, you don't have, like, your hands here. Like, this is comfy. Okay, you see this? Like, I'm comfy. See this? I'm comfy. When you start balling something up here and you've got your hand over here free and you've got this here, you're not comfy. This is not a natural resting position. He's getting ready to squeeze something. So what does he do? Brian Harpole slides back right there by Frank Turek. Okay? And Brian Harpole's looking in his peripheral. What's he looking at? He's looking at his peripheral for Dan Flood. Why is Dan Flood so important? Because Dan Flood is going to reach out and he's going to tell everyone to steal third. Not really steal third, but that's crazy enough. That was, I think, what my high school baseball coach said. This is what we had some stuff here is steal third. I mean, you're stealing a base. But he's not telling someone to steal a base. What Dan Flood is doing is he is engaging everybody around the decoys to do their thing. You know what Rick Cutler's thing was? Rick Cutler's thing was to do here and to act like mess with the sleeve. Somebody at some point after all of this went sideways and south, they were like, oh shit, we got to come up with the most crazy batshit theories and then all of a sudden someone sitting in some office in Arizona is like, oh shit, what about a palm pistol? Yes. Get the German, get the accountant, get everyone. Push the palm pistol. It's beautiful. Oh my God, because we've got our guy over here on video squeezing, holy shit, we're cooked. Push the palm pistol. That's how it went down. You've got Minivan Man back here behind Frank Turek, standing up next to his hat, playing with his hat. Then he gets his glasses. And what does he do? He gets both hands up here by the frames of his glasses, and he squeezes his hands. But there ain't nothing there. There's nothing in his hands. He's squeezing like it's a fucking stress ball, but there's nothing there. You got the trunk opening up. You got Frank Turek not watching drones, not FaceTiming. Frank Turek, his screen is completely black. Okay? There's nobody home on that screen. He's not videoing. He's not looking at Rick Cutler, videoing Rick Cutler. He is absolutely drawing a distraction to himself to make everything as busy as possible going on around the tent, okay, so that it's very difficult to isolate one person doing something strange. If everybody's doing some weird shit, are you really going to be looking for Brian Harpole squeezing something underneath his left arm? Are you really? Are you really? Are you going to be looking at, oh God, it's this new guy that's got a lot of crazy ass looking tattoos? They brought Rick Cutler on for that purpose and that purpose alone. Bring on a new guy that looks, he's got a sleeve. Ooh, BFD. Like, who cares, man? He's got a sleeve. He's wearing Randolph Engineering. He's got a, whatever that kit is for ODs, naproxen, or no, that's naproxen's Advil, I think, or something. Whatever the thing is for for OD on fentanyl or whatever, he's got that kit with him. Okay. So they put this new guy on there for that purpose and that purpose alone. But look, they're all taking the cue from Dan Flood. I'm sure there were people elsewhere doing signals too, watching Dan Flood up here do this. Why? Because at the very moment this happens, you can see Brian Harpole's eyes. He's looking over here. Why? Because we have the video from Cub Keller that was released. You can see it, okay? You can see after it goes down, okay? Brian Harpole, he steps back and he goes back into his right pocket, okay? And he turns off whatever, his hand is empty. He goes back in and quickly turns off whatever that is. This is the element that I believe brings in something to do with possibly electrocution, okay? There's no reason for Brian Harpole to step back real quick, go into his pocket, disengage, and then beeline over to Charlie, okay? It's Brian. He has it on him, okay? You're talking about Brian at Fort Huachuca. Why are we not talking about Brian at UVU? Nobody else has something on their body that's interfering with the audio. Why are we not talking about him? Like, I want to be like, who the hell are all these people that's like not talking about this? It's absolutely insane to me. And it's not something I'm like dreaming up. It's on video. We can see it. We can see the device. He pulls it out. Like he pulls it out and you can see him messing with it. It's messing with the audio. And then he squeezes it, hitting underneath, like whatever detonates underneath, Brian Harpole squeezes it from right here. Okay? So I've been through this. I've been on Barron's channel. I've showed it to Candace. I mean, this is all stuff that is out. It's not, I mean, it's not something that's like, oh my God, Blake just figured this. No, we've been talking about this for a minute. What you people need to be asking yourself is, why the hell is nobody else talking about this shit? Why are we talking about palm pistols? What, Zach, homeboy, go buy a palm pistol and see just how batshit crazy it is to try and line one up and shoot it. There's like some wrestler dude named Val or something. And the dude wakes up and he's thinking about Rick Cutler and the palm pistol. Dude, you've got money. You're like a professional wrestler or something. Go buy one of them sons of bucks and go shoot it and show us exactly. It's not just something like a simple thing. Number one, Cutler's hand is moving the entire time. I'd be willing to bet that it is a very difficult thing to line up, let alone shoot into a crowd, like where you got like your homeboy Dan Flood right here. Do you people think that Dan Flood is going to be standing right there behind in the line of fire as Rick Cutler, retired cop, is shooting a palm pistol? Do you think he's going to be lined up right there? Hell to the no. I'd be like, Rick, I like you. I love you. Like, you're my brother. We got the brother tattoo thing with brother in Christ, like tattoo, man. Like, we're mano a mano type of thing. Blood brothers, dude. You know, we seen stuff, crazy shit happen in Vegas that stayed in Vegas. Like, dude, but I still don't trust you enough to have you shoot that thing out your palm and me be standing right here. Do you think Frank Turek, I mean, is Frank going to be standing right there? I mean, can y'all imagine? So this is where he injects the Randolph engineering glasses. I mean, did y'all, let's watch it again and then I'm gonna let y'all go. This is why he injects this right here with, where'd it go? I just saw it flash right here.
Shirt man. I also find the way that he is standing very strange. Who stands this way? If you were at the front row of an event, would you stand like this? It looks like he's bracing himself with one hand on the barrier and then
I didn't go back.
aviator style sunglasses. So I started looking more closely at Brown Shirt Man. Something that strikes me as odd are these sunglasses. These are massive, bulky sunglasses.
Okay. To me, this image looks fake. It looks like someone intentionally increased the width of the frames. And I think Zach needs to look at it because these are just normal, regular Randolphs and there ain't nothing weird about them. Okay. This image is weird to me. Okay. So just a heads up there.
I realize that military men tend to like to wear large aviator style sunglasses. But even for aviator sunglasses, these are pretty bulky. The lenses are big, the frames themselves are really bulky. I bring this up because one thing you would want in a high-profile assassination is a laser sight.
So the reason he brings up the Randolph sunglasses is that I guess he is trying to make the stretch that Rick Cutler did not aim, that it was like laser guided because of the big, bulky Randolph engineering sunglasses. It's batshit crazy. I don't know how else to describe it. Sorry. Okay.
As part of an ongoing military operation to interfere with U.S. elections and benefit Donald Trump.
I do not agree. I don't have an opinion on all of this crazy where we just jump. I do believe that whatever Brian Harpole had on his body, he was wired up. It probably came from something to do with like DOD stuff. Okay. Because it's not something you go down to Academy or GBOs and you're like, all right, I need some wires and I need that oh, we can use the remote, the garage door remote operator. I can put that here and we can push the button to the, we can wire it like it's opening up a garage door remote. No, it's not something like that. This was something super sophisticated. I believe that the Tennessee plant that was completely leveled, had something to do with it. Okay. The timing and all of it is just super sus with the order being put in, some of this other stuff going on with Charlie and his position through the summer of 2025 to the August month, some plane flights within just that Brian Harpole and the guys were doing. Look, Barron's done a wonderful job deep diving in on that. But the bottom line is, yeah, this definitely has some marks of DOD. You just can't go buy this stuff at a local store, okay? And the AV guys were absolutely 100% in on it, okay? There's a reason that Terrell Farnsworth threw all caution to the wind with people videoing him to get the SD cards before like the real FBI showed up. Okay. They had a certain window of opportunity with the chief of police running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And, you got other police officers that are there in plain clothes looking very suspicious, pointing things out in the grass for the security team to go hunt and look for. All of this points to an explosion and a cover-up, okay? Something detonated, shrapnel shot out, the security team went and cleaned it up before the real FBI got there. What's hard about that? We got it on video. We got every bit of this on video. Every bit of it. We probably don't even have a dude up on the roof close enough to the ledge to have even taken the shot to begin with. That's why I think it seems he's running early, right? I don't know if y'all have seen that video of mine, but the timing, the distance, as the iPhone or the camera phone pans and you see that person running way in the distance, I've always said the dude left early. I don't think he left early necessarily now. I don't think he was up to the edge, because my measurement, I was taking it to the edge, the ledge, where you would have to be hanging out over the ledge. Okay. You'd have to be out over the ledge with your arm hanging out over, because you got to get that drop. We're not shooting level here. Okay. This is not a level shot where you're looking here and no, you've got to be dropped down. Okay. He doesn't have a bipod or a tripod or anything like that. Okay. If he did, because the angle is so steep, he would definitely have to be standing up on his knee to get that angle. That's why they're saying he's in the prone position, because like just ergonomically, if that word can be applied here, you have to be hanging out over the ledge to get that angle. Okay. Well, there's some weird stuff with the fact that nobody saw this guy, but there's a UVU cop up there, but that's not anywhere in the chart. I'm going to get into that because there's some weird stuff with that charging document with the UVU police officers and how they basically knew right where to go look. Okay. We're going to get into that this week. But lo and behold, I don't think that he was up to the edge. I think he was back and he's just listening for the pop that's played out over the speakers and everyone to start screaming. That's when he jumps up and runs. So the reason that it appears he left early is because, well, he wasn't actually to the spot to begin with. That's just, look, when we get the video that they purposefully edited, we'll know for sure. I know the video exists. Look, there's no other reason that Governor Cox, Kash Patel, anybody that talked about this in a legal or official capacity, even the DA, they have the timestamps. Okay. There's no way you can be like, oh, at 12:17, he jumps over the railing and goes over and starts to change clothes and does all. There's no way you know all these specific timestamps other than the fact that you've got the video and you can verify the timestamps because you're watching it. But the problem is the FBI, when they put out the video, they had to deliberately edit it to show him just running early or running past that vent there, 1223, I think it's 36, 1223, 36. They had to trim it because it's like, oh God, he does it like it probably shows him not even close to the edge. That's my guess, and that's why. Otherwise, my gosh, we saw the United Healthcare CEO get gunned down with a video right above him. No problems there. I mean, the most awful and gruesome thing. The dude just empties a clip on this CEO, but we can't see this video from like 200 yards away. I mean, it's deliberate, y'all, because they're cooked. They're out over their skis. All right, they're tumbling, and there ain't no stopping. So they're like, oh, we got to edit this because the shooter on the roof doesn't make sense. And I don't know if George Zinn was supposed to. This was the most sloppy put together. Whoever designed this should be absolutely fired and never put in charge of any sort of plan. I wouldn't let this person plan a preschool party. They're that absolutely awful at planning. Whoever planned the text messages should be fired. Whoever planned the thought of the gun, the rifle, 30-06, fired. If it's all the same person, they need to go to Gitmo. I mean, like literally, you are an idiot because this is the most stupid thing you could have ever dreamt up about all of this stuff. Okay? If it's the same person, probably is. I don't know. So we'll figure it out soon enough.
That is why we are not getting justice. This looks like it has been going on all the way back to that photo in 2017 with Charlie Kirk and Tyler Boyer. Republicans like this idea of QAnon because it made them feel like the military was going to help.
All right. So basically, he gets back into
And if something
Trump, QAnon, the shaman, the dude with the horns that went into the Capitol and basically prayed with some of the Capitol officers, he's in this video. There's a lot going on, okay? My focus has always been, will always be, what happened on September the 10th at UVU, okay? It does all of this stuff about trying to like smear Charlie, say bad things about him, this, that, and like on it. It doesn't matter, to be completely honest, to me, because no one should have happened to them what happened with the shirt and it, shaped charge going into his neck. No one should ever have that happen to them. Okay. Like, period. And look, if there is some stuff with the financials, it'll come out, bring it out. I mean, this is all just a lot of conjecture and speculation. And look, I'm just going to stick to that day. And I think, he needs to either watch my channel. I'll be more than happy to share with him all of this stuff. But look, there's a reason that people are like talking about Brian Harpole. But then when we start talking about that day on the 10th, no one touches him. No one touches him. No one's even curious. It's just strange to me. No one's even curious about what he's got in his pocket that Philip signals, that Dan calls him over and he messes with, and he continues to mess with, and that he arms, and like he's doing all this stuff, and he's constantly trying to pull his shirt down because he don't want the wires to be seen. No one's even a little bit curious about that. Strange to me. Y'all know who that was? My Candace. It's strange. It's real strange, and I wonder why. So, are we really trying to get to things, or what is this? Because Hunter didn't signal to anyone except Brian Harpole. Period. And you can't argue with it. You can't change it. And Hunter Kozak was very much an instrumental part of this. He asked the magic question. So anyways, went a little bit longer than I wanted to. I just wanted to come in and talk about the second part of this. I will be going live each night this week in some form or fashion, whether it's on X, a space, or probably a lot of live stream to collab. Look for that all rolling out. I'll make sure I put it out because it's interesting with some of the different narratives, creators, with their storylines. Tonight was super interesting on Baron's show. Super interesting, especially given light of who it was with Jesse and with Jesse's primary overarching. I mean, his theory of it. I mean, it's faked, absolutely faked. Just some weird things. We'll talk about it. We'll explore it. But anyways, thanks y'all for tuning in. I always appreciate it. I apologize for the audio issue. Yeah, unintended. But anyways, I'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.